What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing all things reverb. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. So I have a track here. I'm going to put no reverb on it, and then we're going to go into the different stock reverbs that are plugged into Garageband and focus on which ones are the best and what settings to use. So here's the track without any reverb.
These days I'm letting God handle all things above me.
So that's the section that we're going to be focusing on. So the first reverb I like to use, which is found right here, reverb, platinum reverb. Platinum reverb. You've seen me use it a lot. You gotta love it. It's one of the best, most versatile reverbs that you can find in stock plugins for GarageBand. You got your pre-delay, which is going to say how long it takes for the reverb to kick in. Your reverb time is the space, the amount of time the reverb is in action for. The high cut is how much of the frequency the reverb will affect. The spread is how much it's spread over the left and right. Your dry is how much of the dry track will be there, and your wet is how much of the wetness, the actual reverb. So using usually wet and reverb time, you can cut and choose how much reverb there is. So there's a decent amount of reverb on this track, and I'll show you how platinum reverb sounds.
These days I'm letting God handle all things above me.
And there you go. So you can see there's some space in there. Play it again.
These days
You can see the these days kind of opens up, creates a lot of space for this kind of sound that we're using. And these are some settings that I use that I really like. The reverb time for kind of more spacier vocals, usually around 2 to 3 seconds. I usually keep the high cut lower, maybe like 6,000. I really like to keep the spread a lot, and then wet anywhere from 20 to 30. Sometimes if I'm doing songs with less reverb, usually go at about 10. You never want to go above 50. Above 50 is something, it's useless to go above 50 unless certain specific reasons for a track. Alright, the next thing that we're going to be doing is going into silver verb. Silver verb is something that I think is pretty similar to platinum verb, except that the sounds that you get are a little different. So again, you get the room size, which is similar to the space. Your density and the time is really the density, like the reverb, like the effectiveness of that reverb. And then the dry is how much of that dry track you're keeping, and wet is again the wetness of the reverb. So if you want a medium size, pretty good amount of reverb, these are some settings that I like to use, and you get some presets as well here that you can build off. And I think something that silver verb does very well is giving these presets. So with silver verb on, I turned off platinum verb. This is what it'll sound like.
These days I'm letting God handle all things above me.
You can see it's a more shorter room. You can make it a longer room, a larger room, play around with that. But I think silver verb is great for getting those smaller room spaces. Okay, let's move on to Space Designer. Space Designer is a little simpler, but it also has a lot of, a ton of presets. That is something that Space Designer is amazing for. If you're starting out and you don't know how to use reverb, go to Space Designer, and which is found in that reverb section, and use these presets. These presets are amazing. Look at all those. Look at all those. You get all these kinds of halls, plate reverbs, and medium spaces, small spaces. They're great. So do what you want with that. And the length and the dry output and reverb output are pretty simple. Not that many sliders right there. Length is just the length of your reverb. Dry output is how much of the dry track, and reverb output is how loud that reverb is. But really use Space Designer if you want to get a lot of these presets going. The last reverb we have is Verb. I don't use Verb that much.
These days I'm letting God handle above me. These days I'm letting God handle all things above me.
So as you can see, it's a much denser reverb than platinum verb, but the sliders are pretty much the same. So Verb is something that I don't use a lot. It's not my favorite reverb, but you can use these presets as well for what you want. So that's going to be it for today's video. These are the reverbs that you can use in GarageBand. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you have any questions about reverb, and I'll be making more videos on different plugins for GarageBand as well. Make sure to DM me on Instagram at AAMIT36 for a $20 mixing and mastering package. You give me your song and I'll edit it for you, and we'll go back and forth until you're satisfied. especially if you use GarageBand. I got you. So hit me up if you want, and as always, guys, have a great day.